What's up, guys? Big Papa Drock back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. As always, hope you are having a phenomenal day. I saw a comment recently on one of my videos where someone asked, they're like, Drock, will you do a World's Strongest Fu-Shan video? And you know what's hilarious? I had actually had a thumbnail made for that video prior to seeing that comment. And so when I saw that comment, I said, you know what? Why not? Why not do a World's Strongest Fu-Shan video? So that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're building a maxed out Fu-Shan. We're going to test him. We're going to see what he's capable of doing in high level arena. And you know, Fu-Shan has kind of a special place in my heart. He was actually one of my very first legendary champions in Raid Shadow Legends. He wasn't my first. That was actually Lord Shazar, but he might have been my second or third. And I remember at the time, this was 4.5 years ago, like Googling, is Fu-Shan good? Is he a good champion? You know, did I do well? Because I had no idea whether or not he would be good. And at that time, he was considered to be a pretty good champion. Never like one of the best, at least when I had started the game. But he was ranked, I think, an A on the Hell Hades website. Well, he's certainly fallen a lot. I think he's a champion that probably needs a buff when you look at his kit, but I'm curious to see just what he can do with an absolutely maxed out build. So let's take a look at the skills. Pretty simple kit here. We got an A1, Howl, attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of placing an extra hit. This is actually a disgustingly good ability if you max out those extra hits. I've seen this ability hit for just crazy amounts of damage because he gets like 10 extra hits. It's rare, but it can happen. So surprisingly good A1. Then we've got the A2, Frightful Claws, attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 20% chance of placing a stun debuff. Oh, God. Wow, only books up to 35%. So you can see right away that this champion needs some love. In today's Raid Shadow Legends, a 20% chance, booking up to 35% chance to stun on a 2-hitter is pretty damn bad. You know, what can I say? We'll see what it does damage-wise. It does book down to 3 turns for a cooldown, but that's a super low chance of placing a stun. Definitely something that they're going to need to update. And I think that's the nice thing about doing these World's Strongest videos or even some of these showcases is a lot of times, weirdly enough, whether I do a video on champions that need buffs or I just do a showcase video, maybe Plarium sees this stuff and they actually pay attention and buff these champs, because it just happened with Mountain King. He was a champion that Ash and I had talked about recently as needing a buff, and then a month later, there he is. He's getting buffed. So maybe they'll do the same thing for Fu-Shan. Then we've got the A3 Shred. Attacks 4 times at random. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. This is another ability that I think needs a buff as well. The 4 times at random stuff kind of sucks when you really think about it. I'd love to see this be either a massive, like, single hitter skill with ignore defense added, or some kind of cool ability like ignore stone skin or something like that. It's cool that it places decreased defense. You know, you have pretty much almost a guaranteed chance, given that, well, actually no, because you're hitting 4 times at random. If you were hitting 4 times on one champion, you'd have a guaranteed chance of placing it, or pretty close to it. But it's also not even 100% chance of that decreased defense debuff. So if you made it 4 times on one person, you know, you could make it 100%, so it is guaranteed. You know, but 4 times at random, maybe you're placing decreased defense on people, maybe you're not. It's you know, it's an ability that definitely I think needs an upgrade. So kit wise, it's a pretty simple kit. He hasn't gotten any love in years. This is on a 4-turn cooldown, so I think this could be a really good champion for Plarium to target for their next buff in probably 2 months. Let's take a look at the aura. Ally speed in all battles aura. Great aura overall. I use Fu-Shan all the time in Faction Wars. He's been absolutely clutch in some Faction Wars hard stages with that stun. So yeah, curious to see what he does when he's maxed out. Speed-wise, he's got really good speed for a nuker. Not the best attack overall for base attack, but excellent speed. And again, we do have a +4 version of him built out to test. So let's take a look at what a maxed out Fu-Shan can do. Where is he? Here he is. Fu-Shan maxed out. I've got a cat's gaze on him. I think this makes the most sense if you're trying to maximize damage. So not really going to belabor the point. We do have the cat's gaze action right there. For the blessing, he's just in Soul Reap. I mean, honestly, take your pick of what you want here at this point. You can go Poly, you can go Lightning Cage, depending on how you built him. You can go, if you're doing PvE stuff, hypothetically Crushing Rend. You can go Soul Reap. You could go, you know, a bunch of different stuff here. Phantom Touch, even potentially. You don't see that as much anymore, but you know, possibly something that you could look to. But I've just got him in Soul Reap. That's what I've had him for a long time. I like that for PvE, just because you get that added chance to maybe put somebody down when you really need it to. So take your pick. Nothing super exciting on that front. Mastery wise, we got Helm Smasher down here. I've gone with Cycle of Violence as well as Whirlwind of Death to up the speed, and then also have him a chance of getting a decreased cooldown if he does enough damage. I honestly don't know if he's going to do enough damage based on how old the champion is. He's not, to my remembrance, a massively hard hitter, at least on that A2, so we'll see. And then I've gone over here on the support tree to give him some added accuracy. That's just because how I build him for PvE. I want to land those stuns. It's pretty important. You could absolutely build him with stuff like counterattack with retribution or deterrence, given how good that A1 is. I do think it makes sense to get methodical because you will be using that A1 potentially and hitting multiple times with it. So this could really add up. So gone methodical over here, but for the most part, pretty standard mastery tree here. Nothing crazy. Again, I've gone support because I want accuracy on him for other builds to land stuns. So that's what we've got on him there. Let's take a look now at the build. I've done 2 builds for this video, by the way. Oh, baby, look out. We've got the first build, which is a just max damage. What's the maximum stats damage I can do with Fu-Shan? And then we've got a second build of how I would maybe build him if he were a champion. I were going to be using it high-end arena with the necessary speed to compete and that kind of stuff. So let's take a look at the first build. We do have Zeal on him here as well as Savage. Some pretty awesome pieces, triple crit rate. Now we've got better glyphs, so I'm sure these will be getting glyphed up as I start farming more Faction Wars hard stages. But we do have Zeal. Zeal obviously increased crit damage, also more damage as long as he has max HP. So that's the only tricky thing is he's built pretty slow. We'll see if we can maximize that for arena. But you know, triple crit damage, speed, attack percentage boots with crit damage and crit rate. Attack percentage chest and Zeal, and then a crit damage glove with attack percentage, crit rate, speed, some more attack. And then funny enough, I really actually don't have the best pieces for my accessories in Lizardman. I was looking through them. I'm like, damn, I'm surprised that they're not better. But we've got attack percentage down here. We've got a crit damage with attack, stone skin piece here, and then a triple roll attack with an attack ascension on the ring. Certainly if I had merciless gear in this area, I could do that as well. What does it all add up to? We're looking at 9,200 attack with 440% crit damage, so pretty healthy crit damage there, and 224 speed in this slower build. Only 250 accuracy, so he's not really going to be landing these stuns very often. Upside of that is polymorph won't come into play. Downside is less control. But again, this is the max damage build. I'm going to go ahead and show you the alternate build that I have, because this is not a build I would use in arena normally. So for the alternate build, if we take a look here, I've gone with a kind of a faster Stone Skin Savage build. I'm not going to equip it at the moment. I'll do it later when we're doing some tests, but you can see his attack drops down to 8,300 and his speed goes way up to 300 over here, and he drops down crit damage wise to 381. So kind of bonkers when you just think about these numbers, man. I mean, like 381 crit damage is a lot of crit damage, but then you compare it to 440, you're like, oh man, is he getting hit hard enough? Like it's just so crazy, the power creep for some of these strong champions when you add in relics, when you add in these new sets and just blessings, fully blessed, you know what I mean, champions. You'll also notice in this build I upped his accuracy a little bit to try to land some of those stuns, but that's what we'll roll with when we're doing our Stone Skin Savage build later. So I think the best overall builds for him, if you're trying to use him in a high level arena, surprise, surprise, Stone Skin Savage, Lethal Savage. You could do something like Feral Savage, potentially even something like that, depending on how you're using him and where you're using him. But I think for my money, probably Stone Skin Savage or Stone Skin Lethal makes the most sense. Could go all merciless on him, but he doesn't have anything to keep him alive like Rhodos, so you know, maybe not the best choice. But like I said, we're in the max damage build again, so 9,000 plus attack, 440% crit damage. Let's see what he does. And again, the Cat's Gaze for additional ignore defense. crit damage, attack, and I've got these glyphs on it. So increase turn meter. We got after killing an enemy, the warrior's next attack will ignore 12% of the target's defense. Ooh, so he'll hit even harder. Very nice. I think I stole this off. I can't remember which champion, but let's take him in to Dragon and see what he does. See what he does. Again, I mean, I think he definitely is going to need a buff. I'm not expecting anything crazy here damage-wise. Maybe he'll surprise me, but I've never really felt that he was a super hard-hitting champion, even back in the day, with the exception of if you repeat attacks on that A1, or if you land all 4 of those random hits on one person with that A3. So it is something to keep in mind. And you know, there are so many champions for Plarium to work through, especially on the nuker side of things. There's a lot of really rough, really bad nukers that could use some love. I would love to see Plarium. I say this all the time, but I'd love to see Plarium just do more than one, you know, 1 or 2 buffs every couple of months. There's a lot of champions that need this, but +4, fully awakened with the Soul Reap. Let's see what he does. Let's see what our boy does. Oh, is he okay? He's not gonna. I have to switch this up a little bit, but that's okay. All right, let's just see. This is without an increased attack buff. Just the A1 for a second. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! What the hell was that? One hit? Was that only one hit? My Lord, that did insane damage. Good, sweet, merciful Lord, that was insane. All right, let's take the A2 here. Now we have the increased attack and a crit damage buff. Oh my God, that's actually really good. That honestly, I think that's the power of Zeal, guys. I think that's the power of Zeal there. That is bonkers. Now I'm really curious to see what he does with the Stone Skin build. Hold on, let's go back again. Damn, I'm honestly kind of shocked. That hit so much harder than I thought. I guess all the ignore defense we have on him too really helps, but holy hell. My God, I'm genuinely surprised by that. Let's do another A1, same champion over here. That's the first hit of what could be a multi-hitter. Let's try the A3 here with the increased attack, just random. Okay. All right, Zeal is broken. That's my takeaway here. At least I think it's Zeal. I really don't think he hits this hard normally. Right? Let's just try him. No decreased defense. I mean, even that hit surprisingly harder than I thought it would for no decreased defense or no increased attack. Hold on. Let's try another one here. Let's try another one. Let's just go raw. Increase attack. Raw in there. Raw. Let's do no decreased defense. I mean, he's killing everything, even at the decreased defense. Good Lord. All right, hold on. I got to put the other gear on him right now because I'm genuinely surprised if it's really Zeal that's making that much of a difference. I actually need to know right now. That is just bonkers. Again, we're dropping from 9,200 attack and 440% crit damage to 381 and 8,300 attack. So let's just take a quick look here at what this does. And this is a Stone Skin Savage build. Hold on, not arena. Go back to dungeons. Back to dungeons. All right, back to stage 23. Let's see the difference. This will be fun. Nice little comparison here to see just how important Zeal is for builds nowadays. All right. Again, same thing. A1. 224. Look at the difference there. Holy crap. He was doing 300 plus damage on that A1. 300k plus with Zeal. And more attack and more crit damage. So it's not just Zeal. You know, it is obviously we've reduced his stats drastically, but still, that's a pretty big difference. 100k is a pretty big difference. Let's look at the A2. Slow it down again. Yeah, over 100k basically per hit difference in builds. And again, just to be fair, it's not just Zeal. It's 1,000 plus attack. It's 60% crit damage. It's a lot, but you can see the importance of Zeal too for some of these builds to maximize. Let's do another test. This time with the A3. And again, this is more of a what I would call a normal build. Yeah, so 216. This is more of a like arena build based off of what you're going to see now. Let's try the A3. So this is part of why I feel like they should update this. The random stuff, especially for PvE, is really tricky, and even for arena, I'd much rather have this be something that just obliterates one champion, maybe even put a block revive on it or something crazy. I don't know. Then it just randomly go all over the place. It really reduces his effectiveness when it comes to arena or PvE because you just don't know what to expect. Try the double hitter. There you go. So, okay. On the whole, damage-wise, certainly not incredible. Definitely not great in a faster build. Surprisingly better than I thought it was going to be. You know, it's a +4 champion that's maxed out, so he should be doing a ton of damage. I still think he could use a damage boost just based off of what we're seeing here. So I would agree with my initial assessment of I'd like to see more damage on this skill. I'd like to see something added to this to make it more exciting beyond just decreased defense, you know, block revive, ignore stone skin, all 4 hits on one person. Could make him a really interesting champion for certain bosses, especially for stuff like Fire Knight. Although, frankly, it doesn't really matter. 4 times at random is the same thing. But, you know, I guess more in the arena. Excuse what I just said. He's still good for Fire Knight right now. Great champion for Fire Knight, actually. If you look at his reviews, the reviews aren't incredible. Fire Knight only 3.5. I'm actually kind of surprised by that, given the chance of multi-hits on the A1 and then also the A3 getting you maximum hits with 4 hits on the boss. But overall, he's not super well reviewed, so definitely a lot of people think he could use a boost. Let's take him as the max damage version first and see how that does in arena while we have this free regearing. How much time do I have in this? 30 minutes. Perfect. Perfect. Nice that they're giving us more free regearing. Wish they would just give us free gearing all the time. But okay, we're in platinum. We're at 103. You can't see here, but it's reset night. Let's see if I can move. There it is. 103. It's reset night, so these defenses are going to be a lot harder than they normally would be. So we'll see what we can do with a Fu-Shan. A slow Fu-Shan could be a little tricky, especially with stuff like Marius. God, you just look at all these champions and you think, where am I going to get destroyed? You know, what champion am I going to actually be able to make something happen here? I might not be fast enough, frankly, in this build to make it work, but let's try. We got lots of mythicals here, lots of fun stuff. Now, no stone skin, so this should be, I mean, this should be just a complete destruction, I would imagine. I would really hope so, barring weak hits on the Fabian. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's no stone skin there. There's nothing going on. We would expect certainly nothing less. This is not a super strong account you can see here. Let's see if we can try a little bit harder matchup. Oof. This one, 29 mil, but look at the champions, Taurus, Brichka, and Nice, and Galathir. This, I will be surprised if I can win. Especially because he's not in stone skin. We'd have to basically strip the Taurus. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, well then. There's nothing we can do here. He's dead. Oh man, that's rough. Okay, hold on. Can we get block damage and get him back maybe? There we go. That's what I wanted. Can we get him back? Can we kill any of these guys? I highly doubt we can kill a Marichka. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah. I think this one's chalked, boys. I think this one is chalked. But also, I mean, to be fair, this is an insanely difficult defense. It just goes to show, like, we'd have to do something a little different. What could we do if we were going to use Fu-Shan here? It's going to give us a better chance of stripping. I guess we could go, instead of Warlord, we could go something like Crixia. Just give ourselves 2 chances to strip. We could also go something like Marius, but I'm trying not to have other champions in there to do damage. This should be interesting. Let's see if this makes any kind of difference or if we're still going to get completely destroyed. Do we have lightning cage on these guys? Yeah, we got lightning cage on almost all of these guys. I love it. So the chance of us stripping anything, super low. Lightning Cage coming into play there. Now, this would be one where we could hypothetically try to go for the stun. So we did get the stone skin off here. So let's see if we can get a stun. Nope. Oh, we got stunned. We got wanded. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not like this, bro. Can I res somebody? Yeah, well, GG's. Damn. It is tough. It's tough to make some of these champs work when you think about kind of, I mean, and granted, Taurus Marichka is a very specific team, so let's try another one. Calvalax is going to kill us before we even take a turn with the new relic. Let's try over here. We'll keep the Crixia. Now, this is a Carnage. We should see Stone Skin. We are seeing a lot of Stone Skin. Surprise, surprise. We only have one Lightning Cage, though, this go-around. We got extremely unlucky, though. Nobody got stripped. Okay, now we got a couple strips. Now, I'm really curious. Can we just kill this Nice with the A1? Let's find out. If he multi-hits, I'm really curious. Let's see. If he gets lucky and gets a multi-hit. Good Lord, look at that. Just obliterated him. Obliterated him. Holy smokes. What an absolute annihilation. I mean, the A1 is for real, boys. The A1 is for real. New Nice Killer? I don't know, man. Maybe. Maybe. Dude, I kind of want to see. Hold on. If I just, can I kill? Okay, she had, it looks like she had, I just guess I just didn't do enough damage. I was thinking she might have had, oh, we got that. Okay. Oh, no, he's got the True Fear, though. I don't like that. I don't like that, man. Oh, Nice is going to come back to, oh, you got, oh, Wanded. Interesting. All right. She's back. We're having fun. I don't want him to take a turn and then, you know, immediately die. Like, I need this to be... Oh, no. Okay, good. I was curious if I'd be fast enough. All right. A2. Let's go! Heck yeah, man. We made it work. We made it work. I mean, not a super strong account by any stretch of the imagination, but some really good champions, right? Some really good champions. And again, this is the max damage build, so it's harder because we don't have Stone Skin to protect us. We're more susceptible to Marius, things of that nature. Let's check this out. I'm curious if we're faster here or not. Now, oh, there's no Stone Skin. Should I just go for it? Screw it. Let's just go for it. Okay. Let's go, Fu-Shan. Not bad, man. Really surprised there was no Stone Skin on that. Let's try another one with Galathyr. How strong is this account? Let's get some stronger accounts in here. Okay, we're getting some strong ones here. We got, yeah. Oh, here we go. Taurus Marichka, though. God. Do I dare to try this again? Screw it. Why not? Do it for the content, guys. Do you have Fu-Shan, by the way? Let me know in the comments down below if you got yourself a little Fu-Shan action. Oh, all the Lightning Cage, bro. So funny, dude. Oh no, man. Oh no. All right, can I just I'm just curious. Can I just kill this merge? See, this would be like, I'd love for this A1 to be all 4 at 1 plus block revive, then we'd be cooking here. Or A3, I mean. Let's just see if the A1 can do it. Oh, she had aspect to Seraph, and he's dead. Yep. Well, GG's. Say goodnight. Damn, dude. Damn, I'm trying to wonder, like, what would I do if I'm trying to use him just as a damage dealer? Everyone's got tons of Lightning Cage, so you can't strip. Let's try something a little different. Let's go back to that team. Let's go back to that team. This go around, let's throw someone like a Galathier in here. And we'll try something like... Go Arbaeus here as well, actually. Let's try this. No Fu-Shan, no full speed. See if we can just make this work. We're still faster. They still got a ton of lightning cage, though. Okay, we did get the lockout on the nice. Unfortunately, well, he got a lucky resist there. We'll take that, but our base is about to die. Yeah. Yeah, that's a rough one. That's yeah, that's a GG. That's a wrap. Damn, dude. It's tough. Like, this is an example. We could go, let's try one more. Instead of this, we'll go Fu-Shan. And we'll go Marius. Specifically just to get rid of Stone Skin buffs. Like, we're literally just trying to use him to get rid of Stone Skin buffs. That's it. I don't even know if he's going to be fast enough here. Frankly, to get a turn, he very well may not. This will be like where we probably want to have him in Stone Skin in order to guarantee that he gets a turn. Now, we know that Marius gets a turn. We're going to sacrifice him here, try to get some of these Stone Skin buffs off through the lightning cage. And then, yeah, unfortunately, in comes Galathier. Cooks everything. Now, do we have... I'm just curious. Can we make him kill this nice? With the A1 again? Let's find out. No, aspect to Saroth on the nice. Did reduce his turn meter, though, surprisingly. Now we're about to get obliterated again. Tough. Tough. It's just... some of these meta teams, man, are just really hard when you don't have other meta champions. You know what I mean? And it doesn't get much harder for defense than Taurus, Murchka, Nice, Galathier. I mean, that is truly one of the hardest defenses you can deal with. And Fu-Shan doesn't bring anything to the table other than maybe stun. You know what I mean? We could try to get stun. Let's try one more time on it. Try one more time. Maybe this time we go for the stun. Oh, he wasn't fast enough, though. Let's try him, actually. Let's switch him over. We've seen what he can do damage-wise. Let's see if we build him like we would a normal high-end arena champ. What does that do for us? Does that change? Does he do enough damage still to be a threat? Let's find out. Again, we're going from 9,000 plus attack to 381 crit damage, 440 crit damage to 381, 9,000 attack to 8,300. And we're losing Zeal, but we are getting Stone Skin now, so we at least have some survivability as opposed to before. He's also way faster now. He's 300 speed as opposed to the 224 speed he was before. So we should be able to act before this Galathier does, assuming we can strip. Big assumption. Certainly not a guarantee, but guarantee. Damn, dude, we weren't able to get enough. Oh my God, and he still gets a turn, and he still strips us. Wow. Jeez Louise, dude, that is just rough. He had enough to kill the Galathier, but it's not going to matter. We're cooked again. Damn. Yep, that's a GG, my friend. That's a GG. Go next. Tough when you don't have multiple champions trying to get rid of the Stone Skin or bombs or whatever else. All right, let's try a less aggressive team and see what we can do here. We got Stone Skin on him now. We could take on something like this. Fu-Shan will die basically right away. Galathier should live. Let's try. Got a lot more lightning cage here as well. Let's just see. Ooh, golly goo goo. Get some of that Stone Skin off. All right, nice. All the Stone Skins off. All right, we were able to kill everyone, but it's not going to matter much now that we've got the damage coming in. Yeah, now tricky now when you don't have enough stone skin to resist the poisons and stuff. We could have tried to just not do an AoE hit there, but hard. Man, it's crazy even in the last, I would say, month or two, how much things have changed in terms of champions you're going to see in Arena. Here we go. We got a Odin. Let's try this. This should be one that is hypothetically doable, I would assume. Yeah, we are faster. This should be, there's no stone skin. This should be a clean. I'm not even gonna hit it. I'm just gonna let him do what he does. Let's slow him down here. Man, we didn't let, you see, we only landed one stun. He really needs a boost to his abilities in terms of kind of what he's doing, at least from an arena perspective. You can see how these old champions are often just completely outclassed in today's arena, even when surrounded by other meta champions, right? Let's try another one here. Now, granted, there are a lot of different things you could do here. I'm just trying to go for speed. Try to do some things like go second potentially with I have a Niam or whatever her name is, but for farming purposes, you know, you're trying to do things as quickly as possible. I don't want to kill everyone with the Marius. Let's just try to take some of those off. Okay. Now, let's see. I guess this could help us with the random. It did. We hit 3 of them. I take back everything I said about him having 4 at random. Clearly, I was wrong. He certainly works better when you've got someone that can strip away the stone skin, right? Let's do another one here. And I'm not even doing a lockout, right? We're just trying to strip stone skin. Ooh, they resisted. Tough. Let's just try to kill. Didn't get enough damage there. The Harima coming into play. I mean, the A1 is legit though. You cannot fault the A1. A1 is legit. Really hoping I was going to get that enfeeble. Unfortunately, didn't get it. Did get the block active skills. Looks like this Harima is not a damage Harima, but is more of just kind of a, hey, I'm here to make sure you can't kill anybody Harima. Damn, yeah, this is like a high resist. This is a really interesting Harima build. High resist Harima is basically what we got going on here. Look at the A1 though, coming through in the clutch. Let's do it again, baby. Do it again. Let's try the A4 or A3 and the A4. It's four attacks. Yeah, so not a damage Harima, just more of a survival Harima. All right, can we get Fu-Shan one more? Not Fu-Shan. One more opportunity to kill. Yes, come in there for the kill. All right, he did it. He got there eventually. But this also is not a strong team. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting how some of these teams at the high end like end up being super strong. Some are not. Have we done a Siegfried yet? Let's do a Siegfried. This could be a great example of what you could hypothetically do with them, right? If you give him that A3 and you make it a single target, maybe it ignores block damage or ignores passives, he could be a Siegfried counter then, which would be pretty sick. All right, we got the stone skin on so we can avoid any kind of enfeeble, which is clutch. All right, we are going to fully max damage here with the Marius first. Try to get some of the stone skin off. Just kill the Siegfried for now. All right, there's the res. Let's go back around. Drop the hammer. Hey, look at that. Not bad, not bad. Would have loved to have seen him kill more. Would love to have seen him kill the Marichka. Now the question is, we got block active skills there. Okay, so here we go. Oh, he landed all 4. See, maybe you make that an AoE. I don't know. Maybe you give him 2 AoEs. Maybe you give him another skill. You give him a 3rd skill. He's got an AoE skill now too. He's got 2 AoEs plus a single hitter. That's a quad thing. I don't know, man. It's always so fun, like so fun and sad and bittersweet to come back and test some of these champions that may have been mainstays in your arsenal years ago that have just fallen out of favor. And again, like I said, like Fu-Shan for me was one of the very first legendaries that I ever got. I really think he was my second or third legendary. I remember it vividly in, I think it was April of 2021, pulling him and being so excited to see a legendary pop out. You know, and I really wish that they would prioritize. This is like one of those quality of life things. You know, I did a video recently talking about quality of life stuff that Plarium was finally doing that was very much needed. And I'm happy about that. I want to see more of that come to the game because I feel like people are getting very burnt out on just some of the quality of life issues of the game and the fact that, you know, this has always been a problem with Raid, but, you know, it's an immense amount of commitment of time to the game every day to stay on top of it. You know, whether you're free to play, a spender, or a Kraken, it's a lot of time. And so I would love to see, as part of that kind of quality of life push, let's do more champion buffs, right? And I've talked about this in previous videos, but there are so many champions like this that I think would be fun for people to get to rediscover, and also kind of nostalgic because so many of these champions, if you have played the game for a long time, and I think at this point the majority of the player base is people that have played Raid for a long period of time as opposed to new players. There's something to be said for revisiting an old champion, seeing that they've gotten a buff, that they're viable now, and that you can use them in different areas. The other thing too that I really think is interesting about Raid is look at the difference in artwork. So Fu-Shan is, I'm pretty sure, launched with Raid or was shortly thereafter. I'm pretty sure he was one of the original champions you could get. And like, he doesn't look bad, right? He looks fine. But look at the difference in artwork quality between Fu-Shan and, let's say, a Lazarius, a mythical champion that has launched in the last 2 years. Night and day detail-wise, right? Isn't that interesting to see? Also, interestingly enough, no eyes on Lazarius as well. What the hell is up with Lizardman not having eyes? Fu-Shan doesn't have eyes. Lazarius doesn't. I mean, are these eyes? No, it looks like little nose hole things. Like he's got double. Are those his eyes? Is he blind? I frankly, can somebody tell me if he's blind? I think he's blind. But you can just see the difference in the quality of artwork and how that's, you know, changed over the years between someone like Fu-Shan, who, again, who doesn't look bad, but just the detailing on him is not as good, in my opinion. And the coloring on him is not as vivid or good as someone like Lazarius. So Roxanne's still looking pretty decent, though. Anyway, that's your showcase, guys. World's strongest Fu-Shan. I think, you know, end of the day, he needs a buff. Surprise, surprise. I mean, pick an old champion, and you absolutely could see them made more relevant for today's game with some small changes, with damage increases. In his case, with some kit increases, I think he's a champion that would absolutely benefit from changing up some of these skills a little bit. And I hope Plarium starts to prioritize that more. I would love to see, in my opinion, 5 champion buffs a month. That's 60 total for the year, out of a game that has 1,000 champions or close to it now at this point. And I know what you're saying, like, oh, Drock, they don't make money doing that. Well, yes and no. They do and they don't. They make money if they have more champions that you could pull on shard events. And I think certainly they encourage people to want to empower champions more if those champions are better, which means, again, pulling on shard events. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this showcase. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about Fu-Shan. Do you think he needs a buff as well? Were you surprised at some of the damage in the arena, in the non-arena test, and the kind of the dragon test? He did a lot more damage than I thought he would. It wasn't the best damage I've ever seen, for sure, but certainly I thought he was going to hit like a limp noodle. And in that max damage build, he definitely did better than I thought he would, though he definitely struggled as well in the kind of savage stone skin build to keep up with some of these other champions that can just blow you out of the water nowadays with the amount of damage they do. And good God, please, 35% chance to stun ain't going to get it done. This needs to be 100% chance at the very least. You know what I mean? 100% chance to stun on this ability. And let's fix this as well. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon. Big Papa Drock, out.